Ew! Hey there, Holder, and welcome to another Narjan Reacts. In this video, we're reacting to the final episode for Over the Garden Wall. Finally here, and like I've mentioned before, I'm kind of sad that it's coming to an end. I feel like this series could have gone longer, but kind of nice to also have a short and sweet series. Or more of those instead of them going on forever and ever and ever and, you know, ever. But yeah, anyway, let's get right into it. I'm really curious on what's gonna happen. The unknown, and it shows two guys in a rowboat. Yep. Okay, Beatrice is looking for Greg, I bet.
Golden comb of honey.
I mean, he's not wrong. How does he expect like a 6, 7, 8-year-old to know what a golden comb is?
Gregory, lower the sun out of the sky and into this china cup.
Oh, well,
Sir?
that sounds impossible.
Anything is possible if you set your mind to it, right? But hurry, the sun
Could
will
you
be
put
setting
the...
soon and...
Can you put a firefly in there and it counts as the sun? Greg looks like he hasn't gotten any sleep from the dark circles under his eyes.
Just gotta wait.
Yes.
I swear to God, if Greg freaking dies of hypothermia in this freaking, I'm gonna be like, damn, that's dark.
Huh?
Oh, hi, Beatrice. Ow!
What the? Beatrice? Okay.
We should hurry. I think it was that.
Well, I mean, she was getting blown in one direction, I think. So, I think if you just keep going in the opposite direction of where you're being blown from, or you're being blown toward, you should be good.
Yes, we'll keep that light
Watch it
of
be
yours
dry.
shining, won't we?
This guy likes announcing his presence, doesn't he? I feel like him and Oogie Boogie Man would get along really well. That or he would consider Oogie Boogie Man a little too eccentric for him.
You've been grinding up lost souls for years.
That's what Edelwoods are?
I didn't know this is where the would treat.
Feed the lantern.
No.
Wait, it had the same eyes as the...
You just don't care.
It had the same eyes as the wolf.
Hurry on, Tyler, I'll remove it
Is he
from
corrupted by a dark, like,
I'll
turtle or whatever?
speak of my daughter.
How did... You know, there's still a question. How did... They're gonna have to wrap this up in, like, 10 minutes. How did his daughter end up in there?
Are you?
Word,
Oh, Greg.
word. I did it. I beat the beast.
Oh, jeez, the leaves are even growing inside of him.
No, I was just eating leaves.
Okay, that's Greg.
Word.
No, Greg.
I'll say if he's got leaves growing
It's
inside
my
him,
fault
then
we ended
he's
up
gonna
here.
be dead.
Everything's been my fault. I should have been more.
No, the perfect frog name.
Greg? Greg?
Bruh.
Let's get him out of this, come on.
Forest.
I won't let that happen.
Well then, perhaps we better make a deal.
Deal?
Oh,
I'm sorry, who are
I
you?
can put his spirit in the lantern.
Frickin' Bill?
As long as the flame stays lit, he will live on inside. Take on the task of lantern bearer, or watch your brother perish.
Aw, you blackmailer.
Here.
Wait, that's dumb.
What?
That's dumb. I'm not just gonna wander around in the woods for the rest of my life.
I'm trying to help you.
You're not trying to help me. You just have some weird obsession with keeping this lantern lit. It's almost like your soul is in this lantern.
Are you ready to see true darkness?
Please tell me you're funny looking. Please tell me you're funny looking.
Are you?
Don't!
Where?
Here, Woodsman.
she was never in the lantern, was she, Beast?
Listen, Woodsman. Listen to me.
So that's why he needs him to keep the lantern lit.
Come with us.
What?
The scissors. That'll make your family.
You
human.
had them the whole time?
All along?
I used them to escape Adelaide, and then yeah, I was sort of mad at you.
Word.
You
Word.
wonderful mistake of nature.
Mistake of nature.
See, woodsman?
Ew.
Stop! You'll never see your daughter again, woodsman. Are you really ready to
Wait,
go back to
that's
the
the
empty
woodsman.
house?
That's the beast
No,
spirit that I see.
woodsman.
Goodbye, Beatrice.
Goodbye, Wirt.
One is
Oi.
a bird, two are the trees.
Wait, don't tell me this was just a dream this entire freaking time. I was kidding. I wanted it to be real.
I've with the moon.
Wirt, you okay?
No, give me Beatrice.
See me, Wirt?
Where am I?
Me?
Not you. Jason
The
Thunderbird.
better
My
one.
frog.
Our frog.
Everyone is satisfied with the ending, and so
Is that
on
the
and
bell
so
still in
forth,
his body?
and yet, over the garden wall, through the leaves,
That's his daughter?
color.
Wait, huh? What happened? What happened to the beast? Wait, I thought his daughter was dead. Wait, how do you find out where his daughter was? The turtle. What's her name? I'm gonna say they're probably my favorite side characters out of this whole series. Frogs. Red.
Honey?
Anytime there's a
eat your
cat in that
dirt.
this whole time.
Mom, stop calling it dirt.
What
That's
are you gonna do
Beatrice?
about it? Turn us into bluebirds again?
Mom.
Now eat your dirt.
The loveliest
Beatrice is cute!
lies.
Of course you were singing this. No, 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 no. Okay, so it was real, but they... Was it? Huh? I don't know how to feel. Alright, I'm gonna get in my thoughts. Alright, so... Okay, so for the plot for this episode... Pretty much... Oh, okay. So... Turns out that the woodsman's daughter's soul was not actually a lamp, it was actually the beast's soul. That was a good twist. So I'm gonna guess the beast probably told the woodsman. Okay. I'm still kind of confused on how the woodsman ended up in this situation, like, because he said that his daughter's soul was in there. So was it the fact? Because when at the end, it looked like the woodsman had been sitting on the porch for a while, and then the daughter was like, "Father?" Like she was surprised. So is it that the woodsman was living separate from the daughter, and then the beast came along and took advantage of that situation? Was like, "Oh, your daughter's dead. I have her soul, and it's in this lamp," to trick the woodsman to keep carrying the beast, the daughter's soul, and keep feeding it the idlewood tree sap or blood, whatever it was, to keep the soul going. I'm kind of confused on that. Like, I'm glad they did kind of like bring it up to an extent, but didn't fully explain it. I'm just gonna go with that he tricked the woodsman in believing that he had the daughter's soul in the lamp, and that in order to keep it going, it was to keep feeding, keep putting the sap or blood into it. Then we get. I also love the exchange between Greg or Wirt, or no, okay. The exchange between Wirt and Greg was pretty touching. Like, I honestly thought Greg was gonna die. I'm thinking they're not gonna really go that dark, are they? Where Greg's like gonna die in this. And then I like the exchange between Wirt and the Beastman, or the Beast, where he's like, he's like, okay, and then he's like, thinks about it. He's like, no, it's dumb. And the Beast is like, what? It's like, why would I do this when you? And then we get a brief flash of what the Beast looks like, which, okay, hold up. You know what? I'm gonna real quick. I want to get a look at the Beast real quick. See what he looked like, because it was a real quick flash Let's see. No, okay, this was before. You know, he gave the scissor back to Beatrice, which I find that funny that he had the scissor this whole time, but because he was angry with Beatrice, he didn't give it to her. I mean, that's good in a way that him being petty actually helps Beatrice. Let's see though, where was the flash? Really fast. I wanted to see what this thing looks like, because he didn't get really a full reveal on it. Where is it? No. I know it was such a fast flash, but I don't even remember where it was. I just really want to see what he really looks like. I saw that he looked almost like one of the idol trees, but like a creepier version of it. Has anyone taken a screenshot of that? There it is. I gotta see this thing. Oh, that's disgusting! Oh, he's creepy! No! Okay, I can see why they probably didn't show his full form, like, for more than a split second. Because I feel like this would have really... okay, I'm wrong. This... Cartoon Network has had more scary stuff on the network before, but I know they're not as censorship as Disney, but they're still like, I feel like this being shown for more than a brief second would have been what they would call too much for children. I personally don't believe this stuff could be too much for children. Okay, don't get me wrong, some children do get petrified by these things. I grew up on Courage the Cowardly Dog. I didn't notice really anything that was horrific in that show, except for the only episode that creeped me out was the Return the Slab or Suffer My Curse episode. That's the only one that creeped me out. Everything else in the series didn't faze me one little bit. Watching back that series now as an adult, it creeps me out more as an adult than it is a child, because I just didn't notice that stuff. So I feel like, honestly, as a child, I probably wouldn't even notice what this thing looked like. And even if it was shown for a bit, I probably would have even not cared. Like, I feel like this guy, the Beast, would really trigger people's, what's the phobia of, like, holes in bodies or skin or whatever? Is it trypophobia or something like that? Trypophobia? This guy, the Beast, literally looks like a living idlewood tree, but the faces in it look like soul. Oh, so wait, if the trees themselves are of lost souls, then that means when he consumes them, then I'm presuming he's consuming their soul. So actually the fact that his design has like faces of like soul, like people's like faces being hollow and like horrified and stuff is perfect. That's creepy. Oh god, I feel like that's actually creepier than what his silhouette looks like. Nah, ill. I'm good. I am so good. I don't think I need. That's what curiosity gets you for. All right, so back to the plot before I went on that. Okay, so then we end it with Beatrice and Wirt kind of like saying goodbye. And then it's right back to them being in the Wirt and Greg being in the river, and then waking up in the hospital. So my theory before was kind of right, where it was they didn't really. I thought at first I was so upset. I was like, did they actually dream all that? Because I'm gonna be upset if they did. But it turns out I don't know what happened. maybe it's kind of like with Wizard of Oz, where it all happened, but like when she returned from that land, she like woke up at the tree again and everything was like fine. So I don't know how you like. You could say this stuff actually happened, but maybe it's like an actual like existential like. It's a journey in your mind that you go on. So it's real, but at the same time, it's not like you actually went somewhere. It's like you went on a journey in your mind. That or the characters are kind of like, you know what, this is too much for me. I'm not trying to like make logic out of that stuff. I'm just gonna say that they were real. So both sides are real. They ended up in a land with all that magic and Beatrice and the beasts and woodsmen and all that stuff happening. And then you got the other side where they are from a modern setting in the suburbs and all that stuff, and that they just somehow end up in the land of and over the garden wall. So, yeah, and actually over the garden wall, now I get it, because they climbed over that wall, which I guess was brave, but like a garden, and they end up on the other side into the river. So, I'll just set it up into an alternate dimension or world. That's good enough for me, because then you show not flashbacks, but then you show like how each like person we've kind of met throughout the series. You got the frogs, you got Beatrice's family, you got the girl with the grandmother, which I still feel like those two are my favorite side characters in the whole. Other than, I wouldn't call Beatrice a side character because she became like one of the main characters. So yeah, the mother or not the mother, but the aunt and the girl, I would say, were my favorite side characters out of the whole series. And then the story ends it with, before I get into characters, the story ends it with, I guess Sarah and Wirt Wirt having the courage, still kind of nervous, but which is understandable with your crush, but then having the courage to be like, nah, come listen to the tape at my house, kind of thing. I still kind of wish Beatrice and Wirt had ended up together, or like left off with maybe they kind of, because I feel like Beatrice definitely had a thing for Wirt. So it's kind of sad that they're from two different worlds in a sense, so they'll never probably see each other again, which is sad. But yeah, the overall plot for the whole series, half of me feels it was not long enough. I mean, I had the same feeling for Gravity Falls, but Gravity Falls at least had 2 seasons, and each season was like 20-something episodes, which was like quadruple the length of this series. But I feel like it was almost kind of like this, again, this was a short but sweet series. I feel like there definitely could have been more to it, but it's okay that there wasn't. Again, I'd rather a series end on a good note than being drawn out for too long. So overall, it's definitely not quite what I was expecting when I first found out about Over the Garden Wall. I think my expectations were a little too much for it. Like, I feel like I enjoyed it, but not as much as I thought I would. But I would still give it, like, I would give it, let's see, Gravity Falls for me was like a 9.5 to 10 out of 10 series. I would give Over the Garden Wall like 8.5 to 9. Like, it was still a good series. Like, I enjoyed it and I don't regret watching it. The story-wise, so I liked it. Characters, they were memorable. I'll give it that. Like, even the brief characters, like even like each character from characters from each episodes were memorable. Like the pumpkin people were memorable. The 2 tea makers from the mansion were memorable. Fred the horse was memorable, even though he was only in like an episode and a half. You had the frogs, they were memorable. You had the School Town Follies, they were memorable. Like each episode was quite memorable and enjoyable. The Beast was a good villain. He definitely, I don't want to say he's an antagonist, he was definitely a villain. He was creepy and scary, so he was good. I enjoyed all the main characters. I enjoyed the Woodsman. And then loved Beatrice, loved Wirt, loved Greg. Enjoyed Froggy, or Fred I was gonna say finger bottom. Fuddleburger? Fuddleburger? I already blanked on his name, but him. The frog. Okay, the characters I would say I didn't care for were, I would say, the Mean Girl characters. Sarah, I don't really care for. Like, she just didn't have long enough for me. And her personality, again, you could say that's because of time. Didn't really have much time to get to know her, but she didn't really interest me as a character or a crush of Fort. And yeah, so characters overall, I would give, if it came down to Beatrice, Wirt, and Greg, I would give them a 10 out of 10. Animation, again, I really like the storybook, like, fairy tale art style of this series. It was different. It was different. Like, I always like it, and I appreciate it when a series does a unique art style. Versus, like, there was that whole era of, was it Cartoon Network? I think it was. Or was it Disney? Where it was a lot of the big eyes, big mouth expressions and stuff. That art style, which I think is the reason why I never got into Steven Universe and Star vs. Evil and Adventure Time, it was a lot of the big mouth. Not that Adventure Time had all the characters like that, because I know, like, Finn, I think he's got, like, pinpoint eyes kind of thing, but, like, I wasn't into those art styles, so they really didn't interest me. Whereas when Over the Garden Wall promoted and I saw the promotion for it, I'm like, that looks different, that looks interesting. And the fact that Elijah, because I love Elijah's voice, so the fact that he was in one of the main characters, I was like, oh, this interests me. So I appreciate it when series go and do different art styles. I guess you could say Gravity Falls kind of has similar art style with the big eyes and big mouths, but I don't know. They still had a different art style to it that I liked. Even though I do like Gravity Falls and different art styles too, but besides the point, yeah, overall I didn't really care for that art style at the time. So I really enjoyed the animation for Over the Garden Wall. Music, I would say overall was great. Some songs were hit and miss, but I don't feel they were trying to go for, like, Emmy Award winning really amazing songs. So they fit the scenarios. There were definitely some songs from this series that I'll definitely be, like, adding to my Spotify if they're on there, or listening to, because I really enjoyed them. The music, like the background orchestral music, set the mood very well. From the creep beats and the mysterious to, you know, not happy, but like silly moments kind of thing. Overall, I would say the music, 9.5. It's tough when I give ratings to stuff, because it's kind of like, what is it really? I feel like I'm gonna come to a point where it's just like, story was great, characters were great, animation was great, music was great. That's all I'll say. So I'm glad I finally watched this series after how many years it's been out. But yeah, that's my thoughts for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the reaction and my reactions to the entire series. My next series I'll be reacting to, well, I know the new Hell of a Boss. Actually, I shouldn't even mention this, because by the time this episode is put on my channel, it's probably gonna be maybe 2 or 3 episodes Hell of a Bosses have come out, so I'm not even gonna mention that. But the next series I'm gonna be reacting to will most likely be I was kind of decided, because I have Arcane. Yeah, it was Arcane. Wasn't Star vs. Evil? It's most likely gonna be oh, Owl House. It's either gonna be Arcane or Owl House, so that's probably one of the series I'm gonna be reacting to next. But yeah, that's it for this reaction. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you'd like early access to my full and reactions, go join my Patreon. Link in the description and pinned comment below. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, night, and keep burning bright. See ya!